Guys, I had to come on here today. I have something heavy on my heart, especially this week with everything that's been going on. Especially with those women that were killed in Puerto Rico because of, those that they thought that they loved and that would take care of them, just finish them for no reason, because I don't care what issues you have with someone or don't have or you think you have. No one deserves to be killed or mistreated and basically just treated like nothing, and even before this whole thing happened, it's always been, I don't even know what word to say, but it always pissed me off when people are in these relationships that are not right, but because you love that person and because you feel like you need that person, you put up with whatever it is that they're putting you through. And I don't think anyone deserves that. I feel it also starts with yourself. You have to love yourself. Love yourself enough to know that, okay, this is not what I want. This is not what I deserve. And it's just time to walk away. Like, there is no way that you should be in a relationship where that person is abusive, whether it's physically, verbally, make you feel like nothing, or is even manipulative or controlling of you. Like, there's no reason for that. If you're with a person that you don't trust them or they don't trust you, then you guys have a big issue. Either you work on those issues, and if you see that, it's not going anywhere, and it depends on the issues too. If something happened that made you distrust that person and, you have all these issues, then, and that person's trying to work it out, but there's something within you that don't still trust them, then either you need to go to therapy or just leave that person alone. I'm a person that, especially if you're married and things like that, I'm always for marriages, and I'm always for, you guys, because working it out, because I know that marriage is not easy. It's not, even a partnership, a long-term relationship that you have with someone, doesn't even matter at this point if you're married or not. But if you've been with that person for so long, yes, there are going to be ups and downs. Nobody said that every relationship is going to be perfect. No relationship is perfect. You know that there's going to be issues that are going to arise, and then the way you deal with them is what matters. If you know that you're with a person that's a cheater, and that person has done it multiple times, and you've forgiven them, and now because you've forgiven them and they continuously do it, you gave them that control over you. You gave them that leeway, that power over you, because they know, I did it first and second time, she's always gonna forgive me, or he's always gonna forgive me, and they're always gonna be there. Like, you need to love yourself more to know that if somebody really cares for you and loves you, they're not going to want to be with someone else. They're not going to want to kind of treat you like dirt, like garbage, basically. And this is something that's been on my heart for a long time. I've been in toxic relationships in the past, and I know that that wasn't going to work out. That's why they were my past relationships, and I'm currently married now, and I know that we've gone through things and things like that, but the day that it's just not for me, it's not for me. I just walk away. And of course, yes, everybody sits there and like, oh, but we have kids, oh, but we have this together and that, a business, a house, or whatever it is. It's always an excuse. It's always an excuse. You're putting excuses in the forefront instead of just realizing, okay, this is not for me, this is not gonna work out. And you verbalize it. You tell them, listen, this is not what I want, this is not what I deserve, and that's that. I just don't get it. I do understand, because I was once young and once naive and ignorant to certain things, but I think it also starts from the home. Our children, our little ones, we need to teach them that as they're getting older. It starts from the home as well. You need to teach them, like, self-love, self-respect. Always encourage them. Treat them so they know that whoever comes along and treats them less than what your parents that who love you and adore you and have that unconditional love doesn't treat you that way, you know it's wrong. You know? So I think it also comes from that, where you have to, it has to start from somewhere. So that's why we have to try to do better, us as grown-ups, with our children, with the youth. Just talk to them. We have to talk to them and guide them and let them know, listen, don't let any joker come around here and just treat you any old kind of way. Like, no, that's a big no. And even for men too, there's women out there that is too much, and sometimes we downplay it. Oh, he's a man, he'll be all right. No, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's daughter. Like, it all boils down to, guys, is self-love and self-respect. I just, being in a toxic relationship is not healthy. It brings you down. Some people get into depression. You don't achieve the things that you want to achieve because you have this person there just talking to you, putting you down, making you feel this small only because they want to feel this big in your life. And they know that the moment you realize that they don't belong in your life, and that you can do way better without them, they know that basically they lost in the game, I felt very hurt when that whole thing came out with that girl Keishla, that she got murdered by somebody that she loves, and she was pregnant, and I just can't understand how, I can't fathom how you had the courage to do something like that for somebody that's, I believe they were together, they've known each other for years. I just don't get it. What can possibly go through your mind? Or what can possibly make you want to do that to this person? Like, I don't get it. I didn't really go into the whole story. I didn't read up too much about it. I saw it. I read a little bit of it and everything that was going on, the social media and everything. I really didn't go back to read exactly what was going on, and I know they interviewed the dad and all this other stuff. I didn't go into, because to be honest with you, when I hear stories like that, I don't want to it's not that I want to be ignorant to it, but I just don't want to believe, or it just angers me inside how these things can happen. I don't understand. So I just wanted to come out on here just to let you know, women, men, value yourself, love yourself. Don't let anyone come around and just treat you any kind of way, and just because you feel like you love them and that you need them, that you're gonna put up with that stuff. Let me tell you, you can love somebody and it could hurt so bad, and you don't want to leave them, and then when the time comes, you're just heartbroken. Yes, you'll be heartbroken for a little while, but let me tell you, time heals. Time will heal you. You'll go on. That's the time for you to focus on yourself when you're single. Focus on what you want to achieve, because there's so many things out here that you can achieve, that you could be passionate about, or learn about yourself that you can actually do. Start your own business, go for a different career, or start a career, travel. Like, listen, no person can bring you that low that you feel like you don't care about yourself enough to respect yourself, or allow other people to treat you that way. There's none. So we need to do better. That's why I try to kind of, I'm not a perfect parent, and none of us are. I wish we came with a handbook to do it right. I'm sure there's been, errors that I've made. Like I said, I have older kids. I have an 18-year-old all the way down to a 6-year-old. And I know, along the way I've made mistakes, that I wish that if I knew back, back then what I know now, I could have changed, but I can't go back. So I just got to do better now. I got to do better each day that passes. I got to enjoy life. What I have now in life, I got to enjoy what God has in store for me in the future. Like, I got to enjoy those moments with my children. I got to uplift them, make sure that they know that they're special, that they're loved, and that they should take no less, from no one. So we just got to do better. We got to do better with our kids. We have to do just better with ourselves. Show them as well. Show others. The person that you're going to date, the person you're going to be with, show them that you are more of value. When you show a person, and when you're basically I'm upset, as you can see, so I'm just like rambling on. But when you love yourself and you put yourself high, the person that you're gonna date will know that you're on that level, and they need to step up to that level. So that's why I say respect yourself, love yourself enough so everybody else can love you the same way or even more and respect you. When that person comes along and they try to run game with you and disrespect you, that's it. Just move on. Don't entertain it. Because if you know that this person is not going to be any good for you, do not even entertain it, guys. It's a waste. You don't need any more headaches. Life is hard as it is to just want to entertain headaches. But yeah, I feel so bad for the family and for all those women that have gone through stuff. Like I said, I've been in toxic relationships, and toxic relationship is not just physical abuse and all that stuff. It could be anything. It could be them just kind of putting you down and making you feel a certain kind of way. It could be them trying to manipulate you. It could be that they don't want you to be with your family or friends, and they want to have control over you. Can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that, only with me. That is some sort of form of abuse. And if you're in that kind of relationship, you need to kind of sit there and kind of think about it again. Like, think about it twice. Because if you're with a person that's that manipulative and doesn't let you go out anywhere, and you can't go out if it's not with them, you need to be careful. Those are the ones that when you try to move on from, they're kind of psychopaths. So guys, please just be careful. And I always, even when I talk to other women that are younger than me and that they're not married, they're still single and they're dating and stuff like that, I always tell them, and from experience, because I'm talking from experience, always when you're dating someone, just a little tip, when you're dating someone and you meet them and it's that time, observe their actions. Observe, like, when you go meet with their family, observe how they treat their mother. If this is somebody that has children and from a past relationship, observe how his relationship with his children is. He's the type of person that, or she, because I'm not, let's not say just she, if that person is a person that really doesn't see their kids, or it could be weeks that pass by that they don't see their children, they're not supporting them financially, and they're making these excuses that I don't make enough, etc. Think about that, because that means that this person is going to have a pattern. You have a kid with that person, and something happens between your relationship with that person and you guys separate, guess what? If he didn't see his kids or her kids before that, didn't financially support them, wasn't there like they're supposed to, guess what they're gonna do with your children, the child they have with you? The same thing. So you have to observe those patterns. Just because, let me tell you, sometimes there are people out there They may be great fathers, because you could have the opposite. There's men out there that could be great fathers, women that are great mothers, but guess what? They're not a great wife and they're not a great husband. There's a reason why. Maybe they're single or they've had all these different, relationship failures in the past. Guys, just observe, 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 observe. Observe with an open mind and heart, because sometimes you can see things and it goes over your head, and because you like this person, you're infatuated, you're attracted, you love them, you overlook that. So observe with an open mind and heart. Make sure that you're looking at the whole big picture. Don't just look at what's going on between you and that person. Look at the big picture. How is that person with their family? Are they respectful to their parents? If you have a kid, I'm sorry, not a kid. Yeah, we have those too. But if you have a person that you're dating that's a grown person and they're very disrespectful to their mother or their parents, you think that they're gonna treat you any better? You better think about that twice. I'm telling you from experience. Please just look at the whole thing, the whole situation, the whole picture. When you meet a person, obviously you're not gonna know how they treat their family, because you're not gonna meet their family, right? But observe other things. There's other red flags that could come up as you're dating them. Listen to how they talk about their family. Because that is going to come up in the conversation. When you're dating someone, you're talking and, you stay there on the phone for a while, text it, whatever it is, or you're going on a date and you're talking, family is going to come up. Listen to how they talk about their family, their parents, if they have kids, all of that. Start with that. Then you go and notice how they treat their family. If you get to that point. But I'm telling you, you have to be very careful of who you date, especially, women that have kids and they're dating. Just be careful with that as well. Or even men that are dating women and they have custody of their kids, and you just gotta be careful overall, and just love yourself. When you love yourself so much, and you know what your worth is, you'll know this is not for you, and just walk away. Don't get into any altercations or anyone arguments. You just be like, you know what, this is not working out, and just move on. But before you get into a deep relationship with someone, you have to see the signs. You have to ask questions. You have to observe what's going on, all of those things that I just mentioned before you get into a deep relationship with somebody. Because yes, especially as women, we're so sentimental, emotional. Oh my gosh, we want to be nurturing to these men, and baby here and baby there, and please, they don't need no mama. They got their mama. You're not the mama, okay? You're in a relationship with that person, they gotta be grown just like you. You're not their mother, you're not their, none of that stuff. You are their girlfriend, wife, whatever it is. And keep it at that. They want their mama, they can go back home. But, we tend to be too nurturing and want to nurture somebody and want to change somebody, and you already know how that goes. People don't change unless they want to change, So don't be there to change anyone. Either if you can tolerate the way they are, then hey, if you love it, if you like it, I love it. But you gotta know, in every relationship, like I said, there's your ups and downs. You just gotta know, like, what things you can put up with. I don't want to say like that, put up with, because you shouldn't put up with nonsense from anyone. I'm just saying there's little things like, that you can look over that'll cause, issues in your relationship. Like, your man can be a little messy or whatever, or doesn't put stuff away right. Like, those are little mild things, although they do become annoying after a while. They do. But I'm talking about big things. Don't overlook the big red flag things, and like I said, marriage it's work. Marriage is work. you're putting two people that, have different views and different opinions together. You're always gonna clash somehow, but it's how you deal with the situation, how you guys talk it out. And marriage, so you have to compromise stuff, but you compromise on certain things, not who you are. You never compromise who you are. You are you, and that's who makes you unique. Now, if something that you have that is bad, that it's a habit that you shouldn't have, then yeah, you can work on that and things like that. But if it's something that makes you you, that is unique, if that's just you, they, you either take it or leave it. So you just gotta love yourself, guys. And I just wanted to come on here, rant a little bit, but just the importance of self-love and self-respect. And I'm just tired of hearing this whole situation with, just the abuse. And I'm not gonna just blame the men. It's women too. Women are abusive, just that, men don't really talk about it. They just be like, whatever. They probably move on, or they'll be like, this lady's crazy. But you don't have to take the abuse, Toxic relationships are not good. They bring your mental health down to the ground. If you have a family, your kids are involved, they're affected as well. They grow up thinking that this is okay, and then they go out there and find themselves a partner that's either the same. Because remember, they say daughters normally marry a man that's similar to their dads, and vice versa. Sons marry somebody that's sort of similar to their moms. And I'm not saying this happens all the time, but yeah, along the way in life, you do find someone that's kind of did similar things, because guess what? That's what you're attracting, because that's from what you came from. It's a learned behavior, guys. Learned behavior. This is why we got to start from home. We're not perfect. Like I said, I have an 18-year-old, and the youngest is 6, and I have all ages in between, and I know I've done stuff. I've made mistakes growing up because I was learning as I was going. And if I knew what I knew now, back then, I would have done things a little bit, slightly different. I love my children. They are everything to me. I'm here until until my last breath, basically. But we got to teach them. We do have to teach them to be better men and women when they grow up, to be loving and respectful, and of course to love themselves. Number one, God and yourself. You love God as long as you have God in your heart. Love yourself, and respect yourself, and then everything else, you'll know what's for you and what's not for you. And just don't let people take advantage. You could be good and kind-hearted, but just not like that. It's very sad, the things that happen, how many people get abused, and they just think it's okay. Their kids see it, they grow up, and they're in the same relationship like their parents were. It's just a hot mess, and the cycle just keeps going and going, and I just hate that so much. That's one of my things that anger me the most, is to see abuse in a relationship. A man thinking that he's your daddy, he's gonna hit you and say it's gonna go the way he says, or even vice versa. Oh my goodness, I don't like to hear those stories, and I try to stay away from it because it gets me so angry, and it gets me going as I'm going now and going on and rambling on. Well, we gotta do better, guys. All right, I'm gonna let you off here. Guys, I love you, but love yourself, and just live life to the fullest, because we only have one, and that's it. So let's not waste any time on nonsense, shenanigans, and things that are not of value, that are irrelevant in your lives. Kick it to the curb. If it's not empowering you to be better, and it's bringing you down, just throw it out. I have this saying that I say it all the time, and I say it for everything, whether it's like garbage that I have in my house, or clutter, or whatever, and even for people, I say it. And I'm gonna leave you off with this: If in doubt, throw it out. Peace.